Yeah, I think we're all kind of like give me stuff kind of guys sometimes though.
What? I feel like I don't know when it changes to where you're just like, about your birthday. Like you get excited about your birthday and then you just go, wow, birthdays aren't really that big of a deal.
No, I know. I've had so many. I'm gonna I have had so many. I've had a lot of them. Hey, I'm gonna stop this. Welcome to Hypothetical Comedy The Podcast, everybody. I am Funky Sam Medina.
Oh, and I am Athena Rodriguez.
And we are alongside comedy and TikTok sensation, Cody Webb. How you doing, Cody?
I am doing well. Thank you for inviting me on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for being here. I'm glad you could find time in your busy TikTok schedule to join us. Hey,
we get all those TikTok meetings I need to go to, all those TikTok conferences.
Before we take a deep dive into your TikTok lifestyle, you got married recently. Congratulations.
Yay.
I did, yes. Very exciting. I mean, we do love each other or whatever, but it was mostly insurance.
Oh yeah, well, you know, those are marriages.
It works out because we've been together we got married on our 6th anniversary.
Oh, that's cool. Nice.
Yeah. So that way we didn't have to change it. That was the logic behind it.
Did you literally get married on April 1st?
No. So so the people who don't know, on April 1st, I announced that my partner and I were getting married.
I didn't believe you, by the way.
Yes.
See, that was intentional. It's my birthday, and so I'm very April Fool's sensitive.
Yeah. No, it was completely intentional because to me, the best prank is to announce actual news on April 1st and then just not clarify to anyone until the actual news happens.
Nice.
And so that's what I did. And so about a month later, when we had the actual ceremony and I posted about it, there were a lot of people that were like, oh my God, I didn't realize this was real. And I'm like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted.
Cody, you've taken this joke a little too far. Do anything for a laugh, that Cody Webb. No, congratulations though. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And then, like us too, like we got married. We were together for 9 years when we got married. Was it 9? It was 9, yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because you said that you got married on your anniversary in order to keep the date. Well, our anniversary was July 5th, but we got married on July 13th. So it's like right in the same kind of like time frame, but it's not the same day.
Right.
So we have that.
So what we're saying is we have 2 anniversaries now. Give us presents. Make it about us.
Yeah, give us all kinds of shit. I'm just kidding.
That's what it goes to. Instead of celebrating birthdays, it goes to celebrating anniversaries.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So Cody, how long have you been doing comedy?
I started when I was 19, but I haven't been doing it I haven't been doing it seriously until like the last couple of years. I would only really count for like the first 4 years. I would only count like 6 months of that, and then the last 2 years I've been doing it a lot more seriously. So it's been about 2.5 years.
Did the pandemic kind of change, because 2 years ago was the pandemic? Did that change your outlook on comedy and just like doing it and taking it more seriously?
Yes. So when I started, I was living in Boston.
I remember you living in Boston. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was doing grad school stuff in Boston, and basically every time I would have to go to a mic, it would be an ordeal because I would have to take a series of buses to get over there and all that. And most of the mics were just not convenient for where I was located.
Yeah.
And so the commute was really bad. And with already having to deal with grad school stuff, that just wasn't really conducive to doing comedy. But with everything going to Zoom, that made things a lot easier because I didn't have to do that commute.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I could do a lot more comedy. And that's when I really started to refine things, I feel like. and also was able to develop the skill of not caring what the audience thinks as much, because that's definitely something you need.
In Zoom, you can't really care because, I mean, sometimes there's an audience, sometimes there's no audience, sometimes they're muted. You know, just it's a wild card factor sometimes.
It is much more. It's very volatile, Zoom audiences.
That's a good word to describe it.
Yes.
So getting used to that and not, just learning how to not really care as much was definitely something that helped, and gave me an excuse to write again. A lot of my favorite jokes that I've written were in that pandemic time.
Oh, nice.
And just having a good time overall in terms of that. I did enjoy Zoom comedy, and I did feel sad when it started dying out, and it's just not really, it's not the same in my opinion.
It's not, it's really not. I mean, like our Friday night mic, it used to be 20, 30 people. Now it's like, we're lucky if we get 11.
Right.
It happens though. But I'm glad that we're still kind of there for the people who use it and who need it and who want it.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. But you're right though. It was really good in this day, and it's kind of dying out now. You moved at some point from Boston to Portland. Portland, is that right?
Yes.
That really didn't really affect your comedy because you were just doing it mostly online, but what was that move like for you as far as the online comedy scene?
Well, yeah, so it was still, that happened in August of 2020. So the pandemic was still going on, but I could still do like a couple of outdoor mics sort of thing. And that's what I ended up, that's really the difference. I wasn't able to do it for like the first month I got back to Portland because I got into a car accident on the way to Portland.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I got into a car wreck in Nebraska.
Oh, my.
Which, if you know anything about the country, is right in the middle. So I got into a car accident 1,500 miles from anybody who could help me.
Oh, no.
Like dead center. And that was stressful, and I was worried that we weren't going to make it. So we ended up, the day after, we ended up going to a maintenance place and being like, do you think we can drive this? We can get this back to Oregon? And they're like, probably. I'm like, that's good enough for me.
Yeah, I mean, they can't tell you for sure.
Good enough for me. I don't want to be in Nebraska anymore. This is some Children of the Corn shit. All right, this is definitely a Stephen King novel where a guy gets into a car accident in Nebraska and then hijinks ensue.
That sounds like some good Nebraska research, probably.
Not the worst place I drove in the Midwest. I'm going to be perfectly honest.
Do you have a worse place?
Yes.
A worse story?
Kansas.
Oh, dang.
Kansas is the worst place to drive.
No way.
Yeah, because it takes basically all day to drive throughout the entirety of Kansas. I drove from Denver to Kansas City in one day. And most of that is Kansas. So first off, it's extremely flat, which I feel like everybody knows, but you don't realize how flat it is until you get there. And you can see the horizon in every direction.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And you guys are in a valley too, or at least like there's mountains visible.
Yeah.
So that's not a normal thing for me. Like I grew up in the Willamette Valley. It's mountains in every direction. It's either mountains or trees. You don't have sight lines. And so you could see the edges of the earth. And the only time I saw that in my life before then was going to the ocean. And so that was just messing with my head. I'm like, this is the opposite of the ocean. We're not driving into the ocean, Cody. We're going to be fine.
You're hallucinating out there too in Kansas.
Yeah. And also, there was nothing out there. All I saw, do you want to know how many cows I saw in the entirety of Kansas?
Yes, I do.
3 cows.
What?
In the entire state of Kansas.
What?
3?
3.
Wow.
All there
Did you meet them?
was wheat and corn and soybeans and 8 billboards for the Dwight D. Eisenhower Presidential Library. That was the only things in Kansas.
And an entire day, that's all you saw was wheat?
That's
basically?
all we saw. It took so much willpower to not fall asleep at the wheel.
Wow.
It felt like forever. Do you have any idea how terrible a place has to be for somebody to go, oh, thank God we're almost to Missouri?
You know, I've never thought about that, but I think you have a point there.
Yeah. But that was on the way there because we took a different route to Boston and then from Boston. But yeah, Kansas was just the worst. And I don't think I even saw people in Kansas. I think there was I saw 4 other cars in the entirety of the state. I don't know what's up with that state. Maybe it was just haunted that day. I don't know.
Yeah, that's quite the possibility. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Kansas. Oh, remind me never to go there.
Yeah, don't go there. There was nothing there.
We're not in Kansas anymore. Thank God.
Yeah, thank God. That was that part was in the original cut, but they ended up cutting that out for
they needed the extra time. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, so
fuck we're not in Kansas anymore, Toto.
That's why that guy hung himself in the movie. Oh wait, never mind. So what you were saying was basically you had more exposure to outdoor mics because you were on the West Coast now, and it wasn't so cold and snowy.
Right.
That's cool.
Until it got to winter here and those kind of shut down, and I went back to doing Zoom for a period of time, and then the vaccine started rolling out, and I think I got mine in February or March, and that's when I started being able to do in-person mics more consistently and make an actual presence here as opposed to showing up to 1 or 2 outdoor mics every week.
Yeah, that's true. What was the comedy scene like in Boston or in Portland, I guess, compared to the other one?
So Portland, I really personally like the Portland scene. I mean, I haven't been here for too long, but there are quite a few people that I really enjoy, and I really like the comedy here. And we do try and protect each other as much as we can. And Boston, I just didn't have a ton of experience with, and there were people I felt like I probably could have, made friends with and gained connections, but there was just not enough time for me to do that. I just wasn't there for long enough.
Yeah, that makes sense.
For me to really say, but I do really like the Portland scene. I feel like it's, we try our best to keep terrible people out of the comedy space, which not enough places do.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Unfortunate. In Eugene, that was not the case. There were a decent number of people who, people didn't want them there because of the terrible things they did, and they still let them in.
Because they can get you on shows and they can do this, and they have this pull, and I see that way too much in comedy scenes.
And it's we have enough comedians to not have terrible people. We're not going to have a shortage of comedians if we start kicking out all the shitheads.
Right.
Then they just relocate to the communities who will accept them.
Yeah, I am aware, but they're already there anyway.
That's true. Hell yeah. Hey, so you have become a overnight, I guess not overnight, but maybe over a couple of night sensation.
Sorry.
Okay there, buddy?
Yeah.
You've become hey there, Cody. You've become an overnight sensation on TikTok. When did you start doing TikTok, and when did you really start finding your voice on it?
So I started in February of 2021, just because I was in the middle of the job search. It wasn't going super well. And I just was I saw other people in the Zoom comedy world using it. And I was like, I can try my hand at that. That seems like something I can do. And so I started, and when I started out, it was a lot of essentially taking jokes that I had already written and just putting them into more of a rant or sketch sort of format, depending on the joke. And it started off, you know, the weird thing is, yeah, it took off relatively soon. Like 3 of the 4 videos that I've made that are over 1 million views happened that April. So 2 months in. And part of that is, you know, TikTok wants people to think they can go viral. So that way, once, you know, if you do go viral, you it's a feedback loop.
Mm-hmm.
And so they'll just wait a long time. And I did have other stuff do pretty well after that. It didn't cross that threshold really until this last video, like this video I made like a month ago. And so it was a very weird experience, especially because I didn't expect that going in at all. I had no expectations of me taking off. I expected, you know, a couple of hundred followers. You know, I'll post every once in a while, and you know, like basically all of my other social medias. It's just where I can make stuff, but I just don't really. And I saw something on there relatively early on from somebody somebody I'd been following from somewhere else. And they were talking about how to be like the key to success on TikTok. And they were like, you know, you got to make 1 to 2 videos a day until you get to a point of success where you're like, you don't need to do that. And so at that time, I had a lot of time on my hands. And so I was able, and I also had just this massive backlog of jokes that either I had done and I knew worked, or I hadn't really tried before. And so I was able to use this backlog of jokes to create all these new videos, and people seemed to really like them. And I was getting that positive feedback. I was getting that feedback loop that TikTok wanted. And, you know, I think I got to 10,000 followers pretty soon. And then it just kept going. And now I'm at 150,000. And yeah, but also it feels weird to me personally for people to call me, you know, like a TikTok sensation or that sort of thing. And that's not me being humble. I just mean that in terms of most people still have no idea who the fuck I am.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like I've only been recognized in public twice the entire time.
Because of comedy or because of TikTok?
Because of TikTok, which I mean is not nothing.
That's cool.
Yeah, 2 times.
It is cool. But it only happened like once it happened at Pride. A little like this 12 or 13-year-old kid came up to me, and they were like, "Oh, hey, are you Cody Webb?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am. This is," and it was cool. And they ended up wanting a picture, and I took a picture with them. And I have no clue if that ended up anywhere, but you know, that was a cool experience.
Were you wearing a shirt that said "I'm Cody Webb"?
Oh,
no, I was not. But I was wearing the costume for the Ace Council. That character. I was just because, you know, I was like, where else am I going to wear it in public? Where else am I going to be able to wear a crown in public? This seems like the perfect opportunity.
That was great.
And so I'm pretty sure that's probably why they recognized me. And then I just a couple of days ago, I got recognized because I was just hanging out in a coffee shop with some people, and they're like, do I know you from TikTok? And I'm like, yeah, probably. I don't know, but also there are apparently a lot of people in Portland that look exactly like me. So
whoa, that's kind of creepy.
No, I had a friend of mine, like a very good friend of mine, text me and say, I just saw you driving. And I was like, I'm on the couch right now. I am not driving. They're like, no, I swear it was you. And I had to take a picture. And I'm like, no, I am not on the road right now.
That's crazy.
And they were like, they had the same green hair and, you know, eyebrows and glasses and everything. And I'm like, apparently apparently dyeing my hair has somehow made me less distinct looking, which I don't know how that works. Because I was already a very generic looking white guy before, and somehow trying to
Green hair made you more generic.
Yeah, made me more generic. That could only happen in Portland.
I just realized you don't have your sweatshirt on.
It is
That's
July.
why it feels off. That's why it
that's
feels
probably
off.
what it is. Yeah.
Maybe that's why we didn't recognize you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Like,
is
who this
July.
imposter?
I don't know why
It
I always
is.
expect it. I don't know why. I know.
It's I mean,
Temperature.
I did wear it pretty frequently, especially like with my videos as well. That was something that I tried to
Yeah.
keep consistent. But also, once it gets to summer, it's just like, no, I'm not like I would much rather.
You gotta get
Dude.
the Ducks t-shirt now.
Oh yeah.
I could do that. But then the problem is, you know, when I get to recording videos, I'm probably gonna be like, oh man, this shirt smells bad, and then I'm gonna go
Yeah, no, that's
and then I'm gonna
true.
get into that, and I'm gonna completely forget to make stuff. So,
It would be
And
the
plus, if I
downfall.
do
Yeah, you're right. Don't do that. It'd be your downfall.
and also plus, I've got a pretty good t-shirt collection. I like the shirts I've got, and you know, a lot of people seem to like the shirts I have, so it works out.
Hell yeah. I like your Men Aren't Funny shirt.
Oh yes, that one's one of my favorites to wear.
Yeah.
I was walking down the street a couple of months ago wearing that shirt, and some random guy just read the shirt and pointed at me and went, "Yes, they are," and then kept walking. And I was like, "Thank you for proving the shirts."
Yes, they are.
It's funny, especially now that I've got the ambiguous hair. People are just
Oh, right.
can't tell.
Is your hair
People
kind of
can't
longish?
tell if I'm a man wearing the shirt ironically, or if I'm just a very spiteful non-binary person.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. That's funny, actually. They don't know.
They
Just like
don't
at a
know, and that's
glance.
the best part about it, is because I love making the audience uncomfortable without having to do anything.
Hey, so you've only been recognized twice in public, so likely not. But has TikTok like opened any doors for you or created opportunities for you yet? Your success that you've had so far?
I did have a couple of opportunities pop up. But that was also the same month I got COVID, so I wasn't really able to take advantage of them, unfortunately.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. So I've had a few opportunities show up. And honestly, for stand-up, I don't like talking about my TikTok as much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's mostly just because I don't want to come off as somebody who is like, I have X amount of followers, you should book me. All right, like don't even worry about the actual content of it. Just know I'm slightly internet famous.
Yeah.
And therefore
yeah.
I deserve to
tread
be on your
lightly.
show. Like it's
I
I don't know how to bring that up naturally in conversation. That's the thing. How do you bring up the number of TikTok followers you have without seeming like an asshole? You can't. It is not scientifically possible.
What you do is you put it on a business card, and then right before you walk away, you just hand it to all the people. Cody Webb,
Yes.
150,000 TikTok followers.
Tree
Yeah, but then I'd have to keep
Tree
updating
killer.
the business card.
Hashtag tree killer.
I have a couple of jokes that are incorporating it now, but it's very much self-deprecating in the terms of like, you know, it's no big deal. I don't like to talk about it because I'm just humble like that. You know how it is when people are famous. That's the sort of way I like to incorporate it. Just because
I can see how it could be kind of difficult to bring it up on stage without sounding like, you know, I'm better than you, or, you know, whatever.
Or even in conversation.
Yeah.
Like just
yeah.
talking with other comedians or people who are booking things, and they're like, why should I book you? It's like it's still a weird thing to bring up, especially because I feel like TikTok TikTok doesn't have the level of respect that somebody like on YouTube has, and that's saying something because people on YouTube don't have a ton of respect for that's like if somebody's a YouTuber, it still doesn't sound like a job description.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like an actual job. And TikTok is somehow below that, especially if you don't know a lot about TikTok and you assume it's just, 15-year-olds dancing.
Especially because TikTok
you assume that it's 15-year-olds dancing and this 26-year-old guy walks up to you and is like, I'm famous on TikTok. You're going to be like, I'm security. Yeah.
That's crazy though. I never thought of it like that, but you're right though, because TikTok, it's like 1 minute video. So it's so like instant gratification, where our society is now. So those people are probably less likely to buy tickets to see somebody than somebody who they follow on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah, because that's more an
investment.
Also,
I feel like TikTok tends to be slightly more global than YouTube in terms of just like showing people from outside the country your stuff.
Oh yeah, you're right too.
And also just the country is so big. If I have like 60% of my following is from the US, that's like, let me see, can I do that off the top of my head? I hope so. That's like 90,000 people, right? But that's spread over the entirety of the US. And so if you bring it to people just in the Portland area, it's going to be, at most a couple of hundred. So it doesn't get you a whole lot of sway, especially when, the people that are fans of me tend to be younger just because those are the people that are on the app.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes
sense.
People
are impressed. People are like, yeah, you're doing a good job. Keep doing your thing. But it hasn't directly opened up any doors, which I mean, that's fine by me. I'm perfectly fine getting comedy gigs off of my actual stand-up some number I have on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Eventually, too, it can.
Oh yeah, if that's the thing, is if I got to the point where I'm in the if I'm over like 500,000, I'll feel more comfortable. I feel like, just because that number at least feels less like a fluke, I guess. I don't know. It's a weird situation to be in personally, and I purposely try and keep the two pretty separate, just because of how different they are.
Yeah, definitely. I do like how it contributes to one another, like how your old jokes and things like that. You could just like get a joke, which is just words, and then make a little skit out of it.
Yeah,
that's something that definitely helps. And I've noticed, because recently I basically had my voice knocked out. I blew out my voice for quite a while, so I wasn't performing and I wasn't recording, and so like that creative train just kind of just came to a stop. But now that it's starting to pick back up again, now that my voice is working, I'm starting to get just ideas for things, just randomly walking down the street. And it's just like, nice. I can apply that. And a lot of the time it's for TikTok. A lot of the time it's for stand-up, but most of the time it'll work for both. Sweet. Just the random ideas that are just, the base of a joke. Then I've just got to figure out how to make that work in whichever medium I'm trying to make it work on.
That's awesome.
That is really cool. Oh, go ahead.
That's another thing that's very different from TikTok and stand-up, is with TikTok, you have to make people like pay attention immediately. Right? Because if they're not interested, if you don't get their interest in the first like 2.5 seconds, they can just be like, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
With stand-up, like the amount of, it takes a lot more time than that to walk out of the room. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to be immediately funny or immediately get somebody else's attention. So when you're the two different kinds of jokes, I have to cut a lot more from TikTok stuff because of that, because I have to get to the meat of it so quickly, or else people just aren't going to be paying attention. Fortunately, I do have a following that tends to be a little bit better than that.
Nice.
But you know, you still have to lure people in a lot more quickly.
Dang. Speaking of luring people in,
This is not a good segue.
No. I remember
We've heard you've been kidnapping people recently.
I'm pretty sure
We have some candy. We have some candy, Cody.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you had like a really weird moment where on TikTok somebody was uploading your comedy clips. Was that something that happened to you?
That, as far as I'm aware, that specifically hasn't happened.
Oh wow.
But there was somebody on there who I'm just not going to mention the name, but they had Cody Webb in their name and they had my bio. But they did not have a picture of me. They had a picture of the first Google image results for Cody Webb, which is somebody completely different.
Whoa.
We do not look remotely similar.
Oh,
And so it was, it was that, and people kept, you know, saying like, hey, this person, after I followed you, tried to get me to follow them back. Is this you? And I had to be like, no. And eventually I put out a video and I'm like, this guy doesn't even look like me. I've got like a small beef with the other Cody Webbs. I'm the only one that knows about it, but I'm still going to call it a beef.
Oh, dang.
Because I'm like the third most famous Cody Webb.
Oh,
Wow.
There is one Cody Webb who is like a C-tier country singer. I haven't heard any of his stuff, but I know he's a country singer. He's the guy. He's the guy in the picture. And then there's another Cody Webb that honestly I knew about 11 years ago, because he is an enduro cross rider and I once saw him at the X Games.
Oh,
so I was just watching the X Games and there was Cody Webb was in this race and I was like 11 years old and I'm like, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen. And so I already knew about that guy, but yeah, the other Cody Webb is new to me. And every once in a while, I just like to throw shade at the country music singer Cody Webb, because for no particular reason, I just think it's funny.
Yeah, it'd be really funny if
beefing
you
with people with
responded.
the same name. It's very fun.
It'd be great if you responded.
One of these days, I'm hoping, but not as far as I know.
What is it you do? Do you tweet him? Do you TikTok, like to talk about him on a TikTok? How do you throw shade at him?
So in the picture, in like his main picture, he's smiling really weird. Like he's smiling with a lot of top teeth. Like this is how he smiles. And so I'm always like, as you can tell, we are not the same person because I have an upper lip. And it's just like throwing random needless insults at this
Just
guy who
roasting the
does
guy.
not deserve it at all. His only sin was also being named Cody Webb and trying to become famous. That was his only thing he did wrong. And I'm just throwing completely needless insults at this man. And I mean, it's not even really his fault. Like, honestly, the cameraman should have said something. Like, dude, this is gonna look weird. I need you to just like dial down the smile a little bit.
Smell like a normal person.
Smile a little bit less with your teeth, and I think this will work out. Like, honestly, I don't blame Cody Webb for this. It's like, you know, somebody doing bad acting in a movie. It's the director's fault, but everybody's just gonna see the actor that's doing it.
But he's just guilty by association.
Yeah. But it's funny to me because I don't think he's probably gonna see it, and it's fun having beef with somebody who has no idea who you are. Honestly, that's one of my favorite things to do.
And the best part is, if he ever finds out about it, hey, it's this guy named Cody Webb that's bashing you online.
He's gonna be like, wait,
Yeah,
what?
wait, no, it's me.
Did you say Cody Webb?
He has my
Yeah.
name and he hates me.
Oh, that's great. I think eventually you should do a TikTok where he's a guest on there and you guys make a man.
Oh, I mean, my sister does live in Nashville, so that would be easier to do than you might think.
Oh, dang. exciting. I can't wait for that. That'll be
Yes.
So
I will contact my sister and see if she can get in touch with Cody Webb. And we
hell
can,
yeah. I think
we can box or whatever. I don't know. We'll figure something out.
Oh my
celebrity and regular guy.
It'll be the most confusing boxing match to announce.
right?
We both have the same name. It'll be a very unclear which Cody Webb is doing what.
Which one? Cody W. They're
Listen
both
to
Cody
that.
W.
Listen to that match on the radio.
Yeah.
Cody Webb, he goes in. Oh, Cody Webb is down. Hell yeah. So you've been back in Portland for a little while. You're you're out there, you're doing your thing. Just what's it like out there in the world doing comedy again?
It is. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because doing comedy and making people laugh and getting into that space where you're just kind of rolling, like that's one of my favorite things personally. That's one of the few things that bring me joy, because I am deeply broken inside, and
I mean, we all.
yeah. So that's just one of those things where if it works really well, and sometimes there's some duds. But you just gotta power through them. It's figuring out how to recover from that and how to not let that drain you on stage.
For real.
Yeah.
Especially me, because I feel like a lot of comedians can get away with, not having the same energy level all the time. But with me, like I come in and I'm just on all cylinders, and so it becomes a lot more noticeable if I just start fading through because the audience isn't reacting, and it's just breaking me inside.
I feel that sometimes. You know what?
Yeah.
I think you're right. I don't think I knew what that feeling was, but I think I feel that sometimes.
Yeah. It's just, and it's really easy to start spiraling, and so you just have to keep in your head, you're like, no, you got to keep the same energy, you got to keep this how we rehearsed it, or else you're definitely not going to make this work. Because the way I write my jokes is I write them for high energy Cody. I write them for the most chaotic version of myself.
Do you write them yelling?
I don't. Yeah, all my jokes are in all caps. And if I want,
you can't write jokes at 3:00 in the morning because your spouse will get angry.
Yeah. No, I try and be a pretty good neighbor. I try and make sure all the shit that's going on happens at a reasonable time.
They're like, he's just always yelling.
Why is he screaming in the shower? Oh, he's just practicing some stand-up.
Yeah, I try. Well, I don't. Yeah, that's the thing, is when I'm rehearsing it, I'm not really doing it full volume most of the time. Most of the time I'm just going like just internally going through my head, maybe mouthing the words. So just because it's very easy to feel self-conscious about that sort of thing. Just like having neighbors that can hear you. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
And so that's why I try and do it during the day. So that way, I'm at the very least, nobody's going to get mad at me for disturbing their sleep, hopefully. Or at the very least, it's less likely because, there are people who work night shifts, but I don't think there are very many people here that do that. So I feel like I'm pretty safe.
I feel like I've heard noise complaints on animals, on children being too loud. You never really hear the noise complaints of people with comedy.
Right.
I mean, people get
they're so loud, laughing, enjoying their time.
I'm sure comedy shows have gotten the Cubs called on them for being too loud.
What?
Yeah, somewhere in the world.
I
don't know. It's happened.
Weird comedy show.
Like, the cops are here. Loud. The cops are here. Time to stop doing comedy.
Put the microphone down and put your hands up.
There you go.
I have a closer.
I got 2 more minutes on my set. I haven't got the light yet.
The police lights count as lights.
Oh, hell yeah, I do. Yeah, exactly. That's crazy though. Yeah. I forgot what we were talking about. Something about the police shutting down a comedy show.
You just like triggered him, man.
Noise complaints.
Like, he's like, police? What? Where?
Police? I gotta go. I think they're after me. Oh yeah, that's right. About you getting the police called on you for practicing your comedy during the and the possibility of that happening in Portland.
I mean, yeah, I don't think that's a big possibility unless I'm doing material that makes it sound like somebody's in immediate danger. But I feel I purposefully try and avoid material like that.
Right?
So, like if you only hear the yelling, sure, you might be like some might be concerned. But if you listen to the actual words that I'm saying and I'm yelling about just like pineapples or something, you're gonna be like, no, okay, this guy's not a threat. It's fine.
He's just very passionate about pineapple.
He's clearly having some sort of breakdown, but I don't need to call somebody about that.
Unless he's throwing pineapples, being
Right.
abusive with pineapple. You know what? Speaking of like crazy, ridiculous moments in the comedy scene, have you had yours yet? Where you've been performing at a show or at a show where it just got so ridiculous?
I've had weird shows. I don't think I've gotten to that point. The closest I would have to say is the time I got heckled by my grandma.
Oh
Wow.
no, your
Wow.
grandma?
Yeah, it was
Dang.
yes. It was not on purpose.
Oh, okay.
I just told one of my jokes. And she was like, Jesus Christ. And I'm like, don't heckle me, grandma. And things just kind of spiraled from there. Because you can't just yell that at somebody and have a normal rest of your night. So, and it was already a weird night to begin with. It was just a weird audience that you couldn't tell what they were going to laugh at. And then everybody just broke down from that. So,
and then from there, you just roasted your grandma until security kicked her out.
yeah, I had security called on her immediately. At this random kava bar in Eugene, Oregon. They definitely had security.
Oh my
The
god.
show. They didn't even have a mic at the thing, but they were like, yeah, we have security.
Yeah, but for a mic, you need electricity. You don't need that for security.
Maybe
That
that's
is
how you
true.
started shouting.
Oh yeah.
No. That's just a happy coincidence.
Like, man, we don't have a microphone. We need a comedian. Let's get Cody Webb.
Yeah, exactly. That's very helpful.
Yeah. Hell
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. That reminds me of that when we were at the Brit and you were on stage, and on the stage they have like this banner in the front, and so when people were up on stage doing their set, there was this big old banner just chopping off their head, so you couldn't see.
I don't remember this at all.
I was at the Brit.
This is a story about me being on stage.
Yeah.
What did
Well,
I
you
do?
and everybody else.
Oh, me and everybody else. Okay, I don't remember that at all.
Oh, well, it was funny. I guess I forgot to tell you it was a funny thing.
I guess I had to be there. Oh wait, it was.
He was totally there.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah. So,
How's Princess doing? I know with July 4th, it's not so nice for the animals.
Yeah, Princess has been doing a lot better than usual.
Oh, good.
Aurora has been building up like CBD
Oh
treats for her. So I mean, not like building, but like, slowly getting her accustomed to it.
Oh,
'cause
okay.
it's a couple of days with dogs to just get more calm. And she's been doing pretty well. She hasn't hidden the bathtub yet, which is her favorite place to hide from fire. I don't know why. That seems
so
like that might
cute,
be.
though.
So, yeah. So the last couple of July 4ths and surrounding days have been spent just in the bathtub with Princess.
Oh,
well, that's a good.
And
that's
I'm
a
not
good
taking
dog
a
parent.
bath. I am fully clothed and I'm just, comforting Princess, making her feel
Yeah.
better.
That's a
which-
good dog parent.
Hell
Yes.
yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. With our
Yeah,
cat, she could go either way. Sometimes she could not care. Sometimes she could be a little anxious.
Mhm. That's good.
Mm,
Thank you
that's
for
good.
telling
Yeah,
her
I'm
about
glad-
Gizmos.
Yeah, I'm glad Princess is doing better. Yeah, it's nice not having to be in the bathtub when fireworks are happening.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you have any plans for this evening?
No, I don't have any plans. basically every July 4th and the surrounding days have just been, all right, we got to have at least one of us home to make sure this dog doesn't have a full-on panic attack.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Fortunately, it hasn't been too bad yet, which hopefully means it'll be, I mean, I don't expect it to be chill by any means, but I'm hoping it'll be not just constant fireworks for several hours like it usually is.
Oh my God, it's been like that every day for 2 weeks here.
Because they're legal over
Because
here.
you can just buy them in the parking lot.
They just go crazy as cat shit.
Yeah.
Oh, if you want to know something crazy, it was like that in Boston for like a month.
What?
People were just shooting fireworks off all the time, like from like June 15th to July 15th, just constant fireworks. And mind you, this was during like the BLM protests and stuff. And so it was really weird, this contrast of everyone just being like, yeah, America is doing a lot of terrible things, and also just being very patriotic at the same time.
That's so weird.
I feel like that's kind of the vibe this year too, because we had a big thing just kind of happen with the country, and people are feeling a little less patriotic right now because it just happened a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Cody, when you're not doing stand-up or on stage and you're not doing TikToks, like what's going on in your life? What are you up to?
I mean, right now it's mostly just a lot of Stardew Valley. Just I'm using that as a coping mechanism currently. So I've been doing that a lot. I like to eat. That's one of my favorite things.
Oh yeah.
It's mostly just a lot of hanging out and watching YouTube or Netflix or whatever. I spend most of my time just chilling out. I don't have a lot of other hobbies at this point. I'm working on that. But
I relate to that too. I feel like a lot of people are that's kind of what we programmed ourselves to make our normal daily habits when the pandemic happened, is just like whatever, just put it around the house,
Right. And I mean, to be fair, I was like that pre-pandemic, so not a lot changed.
Yeah, probably
in that respect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What a life, Cody. That's pretty damn interesting.
Right. I've got work stuff, and then when I'm not doing that or doing other comedy related stuff, I'm most of the time just chilling out, hanging out with my dog, that sort of stuff. I don't really go out other than comedy or grocery shopping at this point.
Yeah, no, us either, really.
I mean, I'm starting to make some connections, so maybe that'll change relatively soon. But
nice.
Who knows? It would be pretty standard for me to spend most of my time inside just by myself. So,
have you ever considered like doing any acting? I know acting's not probably popular in Portland. But doing things like that, because your skits kind of show a little bit of a range for you to be able to perform different kinds of characters.
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely a former theater kid. I feel like that's pretty obvious from everything I do.
Yeah, I can see that.
I very much have a former theater kid energy. The reason I stopped like pretty soon after I started doing stand-up. Actually, yeah, so I started doing stand-up just after I finished up doing acting, because just the acting scene, just the scene there, really did not like it. Oh. It was very shallow. It was very unprofessional. And you would either have people taking it too seriously, like the choreographer that left me with a serious hip flexor injury.
Wow.
Or they would take it not seriously enough, like the one lead in the show I was in that seemed like they probably showed up drunk to a performance.
Oh no.
So it was just and also, it felt like the amount of time I would have to do paying my dues.
Yeah.
And I mean, for one of the places, I felt like that I was never going to move up unless a lot of people quit, because they were very much they were basically casting the same people in the lead roles every single time.
Oh wow, that sucks.
And while at the other places I did, they were a little bit more lenient. They were definitely they definitely showed a lot of favoritism, and it felt, and also there was times where it's just like, you know, even though I was generally the most professional, if I made a mistake, I would get lashed out at.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It
Oh
was
man, that sucks.
That does
Yeah,
suck.
it was-
Yeah.
like for the Little Mermaid during a cold run, which is basically like we're already performing the show, but we're just going through the show one more time because it's been a couple of days. I missed my entrance, and the director came over and just started chewing me out in front of people.
Oh my god.
And I didn't say anything because that's just kind of how I did things at that point. Is I was just very non-confrontational. I still kind of am.
Yeah.
But just internally, I was like, really? You want to lecture me about this shit? You're the person who made it so I was in the dark for 2 of my shows because you didn't get a lighting cue right and the light bulb burned out and you didn't fix it the next night. So I was in the dark during my song, having the other person in my scene like clenching my hand because they were so nervous. And I had to be a professional and pretend like this was supposed to happen.
Oh
And
my
not
god.
just like give a death glare to the lighting guys. Like, you cannot yell at me for missing an entrance during a dress rehearsal and also pull that shit. Okay. You were also for this show, they got the music cues wrong all the time.
Oh,
it's just like, you know, clean up your own shit before going after mine.
Right?
Okay. I am the
Right.
most professional person here.
And you
I
were
have been putting up with this bullshit and have not said a goddamn thing. You do not get to chew me out in front of fucking children because I missed an entrance in a dress rehearsal.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Because I was telling the person who was doing the stage transition, hey, if you do it this way, it might not work out. And so I was telling them like, hey, yeah, let us do this because I didn't want to just have like us awkwardly stuck on stage and not have this transition come in front of us. Right. It was, yeah, that was the final straw, was just realizing how terribly I was treated in that community.
Oh, you could feel it.
Wow,
Just you
yeah.
like describing it, you could feel like, damn.
I'm glad
yeah, and that's not even, yeah, and honestly, I haven't even brought up the choreographer, who was just
oh my god,
the worst person I have ever met in my life. Honestly, because so what they did is they were brought on because, you know, the previous, like, we had a weird thing with the previous choreographer where they like quit halfway during our thing, and so this other person who happened to have a dance background subbed in, and they were also like in the ensemble. But for the other shows that happened, that when they were like the permanent full-time choreographer. Not only would they purposefully put everybody they didn't like in the back, not only did they also created the choreography with like professional dancers in mind. They were like, no. But and instead of making the choreography suitable for the dancers she made the choreography and then basically just made us do it for like 4 hours straight. Holy to get this in every day for like 6 days a week to make sure we got this choreography perfect. And for Mary Poppins, like the people, so that was like our third show of the season.
They sound like such delightful shows, and then you make it
so for our third show of the season, everybody was injured, basically, because she was pushing people way too hard.
Wow.
And I got to the point where I could not lift my right leg an inch off the ground.
Oh my!
Like my hip flexor was just completely messed up. And the worst part about this is I told the choreographer about this. I was like, what do I do about this? Somebody said, ask the choreographer. And so I did. And she said, I don't know, go ask the person who's studying to be a nurse. You want to know what that injury is called? The injury that I had?
Oh no.
Dancer's hip.
Wow, it was
This
accurate.
person has a bachelor degree in dance. So either they don't know what dancer's hip is and don't know how to treat it, which is pretty much the most common injury in dance in ballet, or they had so little respect for me that they thought a first-year nursing student would know what to do more than they would. They were like, I don't fucking care. I don't care if you're hurt.
Wow.
Go ask somebody else. It's not my problem. Yeah, this is what I mean by they were like the worst person.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were outwardly, they were generally like outside of the actual rehearsal space, they were generally pretty nice. But like at some, and also I was like 19 at the time. And so I assumed, I basically just put all of that on me instead of assuming that, oh no, they're just a shitty person. I assumed I was the problem. I was the one not working hard enough. I was the one making it so everybody else was struggling. And so, yeah, it was really bad. It was really bad. And it's just like, that's why I don't do theater anymore, is because, I mean, I'm sure it's not the same scene here in Portland, but at the same time, unless I see something that I'm like, I really want to do that, I'm not planning on going back. I very much prefer stand up.
It sounds like the individual people definitely have a bad taste in your mouth.
Oh yeah.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Dang.
I know. Who knows? We could have had the next Jim Carrey on our hands here.
Well, I would say so. Cody's very expressive with his eyebrows.
Wow.
Well,
I mean, I cannot do the facial gymnastics of Jim Carrey, but I do appreciate the comparison.
So who has inspired you along your, did you already ask that?
I don't think so. Yeah, who's been your inspirations?
Yeah.
Just along the way, the comedy, the TikTok, even the theater, like
everything. Who'd you get from?
So I would say a couple of people that definitely inspired me. Mitch Hedberg is probably the biggest one. And even though it doesn't really reflect in my comedy that much, because we have very different styles, I feel like I've adopted the, just taking normal things and just bringing them to the absurd. That's what I try and do. And I feel like, we go about it in two very different ways, but I think it works out really well.
Mm-hmm.
John Mulaney is another one.
Nice.
Especially his early stuff. That was just, everybody really liked it. And I really liked it. I don't know if it necessarily inspired me, but that's just another comedian growing up that I watched a lot. Bo Burnham is another one. I really like his stuff.
Yeah.
That was been a little later on for me because I didn't really see him until I got to college. But
yeah, I don't think I've seen his stuff. I should check it out.
Oh yeah, I love his stuff. He's just another person that, takes things to an absurd level. So he just keeps bringing up the energy, and that's something that I really enjoy. A lot of like YouTubers, honestly, were a big influence, just because that was a lot of the stuff I was watching at that point. In those formative years, like late high school or like early college.
Nice. Like which ones were your top faves?
Like Pew, what's his name?
No, I was not on PewDiePie. No. It was, medium to like, small, like not super big, but still had, a million or so followers.
Nice.
I remember Peanut Butter Gamer is one that I remember really liking. I really enjoyed the way he went about things. I'm blanking on a few of the other ones, or the other ones have been involved in terrible scandals. And I don't
If it doesn't come out like before, it'll come out later. Man.
I used to like Prank versus Prank. It was a couple that used to prank each other to the point where they broke up.
I feel like that's pretty common. That happens a lot more than people realize. Yeah. So it was a lot of like, early, like mid-internet YouTube video game content that I watched. And I feel like, there were definitely people those were definitely people that influenced me in terms of my comedy. But
Yeah.
it's hard for me to nail down influences because I purposefully write my jokes to try and be shit that I haven't seen before.
Nice.
Right. Because I don't like it when I'm at an open mic and somebody's telling a new joke or a new joke to them, and I can tell what the punchline is before they've even finished the setup.
Oh, I hate that
Right.
too.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like I've got a pretty big knowledge base of like what jokes have been told before. And so I'm not saying they're out there stealing these jokes or necessarily even being unoriginal.
Mhm.
It's just that I don't want to do that. Even if it hurts me in terms of audiences. Because there are definitely a lot of the times where I could go for the easy joke and I know the audience is going to laugh, but I purposefully don't do that just to make a kind of joke that, that I feel like hasn't been made before.
Yeah.
And I mean, I try and not do that to my detriment. If I have a joke that I know is somewhat cliche, or at the very least is covering ground that other people have talked about before, but it is coming from a different angle, then I can justify it. But most of the time I'm trying to do something completely different. Like this is gonna make me seem conceited, but I do kind of want to be like the Monty Python of comedy.
Oh, nice.
In terms of just like, you don't know what to expect, but it's always gonna slap. That's what I want it to be.
I mean, you're doing a good job of it.
Right.
We've seen your, jokes and your
Yeah.
videos, and really cumulatively, you have kind of embraced that part. And I think that's what we like about your sense of humor, is that it could go any way, and that really keeps it fresh all the time.
That's the thing is, if you become unpredictable, then the predictable thing is also unpredictable. So you get so many options. If you tell the joke that everybody expects from everybody else, but then you're me and I'm just like bringing shit all over the place, and then I tell a normal joke, that then becomes not submissive, subversive. Two very different words. Yes, I write very submissive jokes. They if they don't get the attention from the audience that they deserve, they just shrivel up and just have a terrible rest of their day.
I like to be handcuffed when I write jokes.
Dang.
I have terrible handwriting. I can't tell what most of my jokes are saying because I'm having to write with the hands so close together.
So, do you have a comedy goal that you're trying to get to next?
Not really. Honestly, I'm mostly doing this for the fun of it. I'm viewing this as a hobby currently, because if I were to try and do this full time or try and get a tour or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
that would be possible. But the point where I would be financially secure would still be very far away, and the odds are still stacked against me. No matter how funny I am, the odds are always going to be stacked against me.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I focus on the achievements I could get through comedy, that's setting me up to fail. Whereas if I focus on just being a good comedian and making people laugh, that I can do. And that I can do consistently, and it doesn't matter the other people that would be involved in that process.
That's great. That's a good way to look
Yeah,
at it.
that is incredible.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people try, and I'm not the first person to think about this. I just like I like the criticism that people have, where it's like, you shouldn't try and be famous, because if you're trying to be famous, then you become famous, and then what do you do next?
Right.
you've met your goal, you have nothing else to achieve. Whereas if you're just out there trying to become really good at something that you enjoy doing, then at the very least you like that it's an open-ended goal, but you can always achieve it still. And it doesn't matter where you are in life, because that's the thing with success and fame and money and all that, it boils down to who you know and straight up luck, right? That's 95% of it.
Yeah,
and that's not something you can really control. You can't control, like, I can't just become friends with like a producer in the industry. That would require, like, without stalking them. And that's not something I want to do. All right. I don't want my story to be, because I don't want I think I remember hearing on a podcast, there was like one guy that legitimately did that, but most people, that's not going to work. Especially given how submissive my comedy is. But yeah, so basically just trying to be the best comedian I can be. And so that way people want me to come, like people ask me to do things.
Yeah.
Like that's the point I want to be at. I am at that point at some levels. At other points, I'm not at the front of people's minds yet, but I'm working for that. And I'm still at the point where I got to ask people for things, but you know, I just didn't really enjoy being on stage. I really enjoy making people laugh. And so
yeah,
that's what I'm trying for. And yeah, that's all. That's all.
I think you're
really,
well on your way
to
being in demand, because you're very funny. You're still really young, you know, so you got more, you know, a few more years to develop. And you know, you're on your way there.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's the thing is, right. I've gotten to the age where I can start writing about my own experiences instead of just random shit I've noticed, which was most of my comedy. Yeah, it was very observational and just, you know, just taking things to the absurd level. And I've been talking a lot more about just things that have happened to me, or, you know, my childhood, or just, you know, experiencing things. And so that's definitely something I wouldn't have been able to do as much when I was younger. So I feel like, you know, now that I've got this fully developed prefrontal cortex, now is when the comedy can arrive.
Woo!
Hell yeah!
Yay!
Appreciate your whatever you just said.
It's a harder word than I thought it would be. Prefrontal cortex.
Yeah, that.
All right.
It's the front part of your brain that has all the thoughts and the voices.
What did you say? You have 150,000 TikTok followers? No, I'm just kidding. Hey, do you have any projects or anything coming up in the future?
Not a ton. Like I said earlier, I've been dealing with vocal problems for the past couple of months.
Yeah.
And so that's very much slowed things down. I am going to be on Portland's Funniest Person. So I'm going to be in the first round of that. My round is Tuesday, July 12th. I don't know if this will be out by then, but hopefully I'll be in the round after that. So
That's the plan.
I mean, I can't say for sure, but it's an elimination thing. So
yeah,
I don't know too many people on that ticket, but also if somebody just has a really good night, there's not a whole lot I can do. But
if somebody has a lot of friends, there's no lot you can do either.
Huh?
Does the audience vote?
The audience votes, but
Okay.
I also do have a good amount of I know enough people that I feel like
good.
I'll probably be okay.
Hell
and
yeah.
also I like saying that my strategy is just to have everyone vote for me for second place. Like that's they vote for their friend, and then I'm number 2, which means I'm really number 1, but they were obligated to vote for their friend number 1.
You should make that into a bit if you're able to. That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Good concept.
Cody Webb.
That might work. I mean, it's coming up in a week, and I'm going to be doing open mics. I'll try that out. I'll try that out beforehand and see if people like it, and then if it does work, then I'll.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, Cody Webb, you're number 2 comedian. I'm selling number 2 T-shirts, number 2 pencils out of my phone. You know, something weird like that. That'd be good. Awesome, man. Well, I hope you do well on that. You've been working really hard, and you're very funny.
Thank you.
Hope you do well on that. Awesome. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. It's been super fun talking to you. There's another motorcycle going by, as you can probably hear.
Welcome to the Motorcycles and Loud Cars podcast with occasional
Coming at you live
conversations.
from the Speedway here in Tracy, California.
Live from the middle lane of I-5 northbound.
What was I gonna say? Oh, you want to go ahead and plug your social media?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can follow me at the real Cody Webb on pretty much everything. Most of my materials on TikTok, but I try and post my material on other places as well. You can also find me at the fake Cody Webb on TikTok. That's where I've been putting my stand-up, because you kind of have to separate things, because not everyone's going to be a fan of stand-up, and so that's what I've been doing.
Oh, interesting.
Very smart.
Yeah, the algorithm's weird like that, where if you have things that are a little too different, you gotta change it up a little bit. So
Interesting.
How is the fake Cody Webb account doing?
Yeah.
I mean, not as well. I haven't publicized it enough,
Oh.
but
Yeah,
I'm
more of-
working
you're just
on
kind
that.
of
And also
dumping
the
content on
fact
there.
I didn't have a ton of stand-up to be able to post for the past few months. That didn't help a whole lot.
Right,
with
that
it,
makes sense
so.
too. Yeah, because you've been having the vocal problems. That's cool though, man. That's cool. I'll definitely go follow your second account too, and give you some love on there as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, and you can follow us on social media at Hypothetical Comedy on Instagram, at Hype the Comedy on Twitter, and on Facebook it's just Hypothetical Comedy.
That's true.
Yeah. What about you?
Oh, hey, and you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at She Shines For You, all spelled out. No numbers. That's it's a first, I guess, for everyone, because they always ask me, "Hey, is it a number 4?" And I'm like, "No."
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, my Twitter handle is 123456, all spelled out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. It's at Funky Sam Medina. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and Venmo and all that fun stuff.
Say it.
It.
Across the board.
I didn't say it this time. I've been saying Funky Sam Medina across the board, and then she gives me shit for it.
Because he's been saying it like over and over again.
Thank you very much, Cody.
Yeah, thank you.
Not a problem.
It's been
Thank you
a
for having me.